Well, hi guys. I'm Chris Langell, the founder of Help Me PTSD, and I have a very special guest today. His name's Prem Vidu, and he is with the Band of Now. Now, I'm going to tell you straight up, me and Prem do not have the same beliefs. We come from, you could say, polar opposite ideology of what we make sense of the world and how things operate. And yet we've been able to find a space that allows us to grow a friendship and reach our audience, which is you guys, to share the power of music and how music can help you heal. So without further ado, I'd like to bring on Prem Vidu, the Band of Now, to the show. Prem, how are you?
I'm good. Good morning, Chris. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. So, we obviously have a lot of difference of opinions, and I want to start with tell us who you are, what you do, and a little bit more about who you are and your background.
So I'm from Wisconsin, and I grew up with musical parents. And to be honest, music wasn't a big factor as I grew up, but my parents insisted that music was a part of my life. And so I ended up studying percussion and actually then falling in love with it a lot. I went to college for music, got a degree in percussion performance, and did a lot of performing over the years. And then in my late 20s, I started finding ceremonies and really the intention of behind the music, using music as a prayer tool, as a carrier for the prayer, really would be more accurate. And in my mid 30s, I went to India and found chanting and this practice, which the Banda Now leads. It's called kirtan, which is a call and response. I chant, you chant, we chant together. It's a really beautiful space. And that's where you and I met in one of our kirtans a couple years ago. But the intention and the prayer behind the music has always been almost as more important than the music itself for me anyway. So, but I play guitar and I play percussion and I play a bunch of other things, but mostly guitar and percussion. So, and these days I use it just as a prayer.
No, that's a phenomenal Can you hear me?
You cut out for a second, but you're back.
All right. Well, we did meet at the Kurtan event, and let's talk a little bit more about that. Very powerful music, very influential, and it was moving. It shifted something in me, and it opened my heart to be able to process where I was at in life right now.
Yeah.
And not only did I have that happen for me, but I saw that happen for about 15 or 20 other people that decided that night to show up and be present. What's Kirtan and why did I have this experience?
Okay. So kirtan is a practice of call and response chanting. And just to back up, in India, they're known as Hindus. The mythology there, it's not considered a religion; it's considered a practice. They're open to everything, really. But these mantras are a language called Sanskrit. And Sanskrit is literally a language of sound and vibration. Long before they wrote the stories and the mythologies to go along with this, Sanskrit was existing, and even mantras were existing. And so, this culture tested these mantras for literally thousands of years. They've been chanting them, and very wise men have noticed the positive effects that these mantras have on all the different dimensions of your being, on your mind, on your heart, on your body. And somehow I was blessed enough to come in contact with these practices when I was in India, and then I was able to bring them home and practice them here. And then I started the group, the Band of Now. And, I would say we don't bring you kirtan. It's not like we make a cake and like serve it to you, but like we facilitate the kirtan, and it's a process that we share the mantra. And then by chanting the mantra, we're creating a vibrational field. And it's that field that's really where the magic happens.
No, I completely understand. And I think the most important thing we need to have our audience understand is I believe that as long as you're feeding yourself positivity, how are you talking to yourself? What sound and what things are you putting in to your life? And when those things are rooted with positivity, love, peace, kindness, patience, forbearance, all these things that multiple belief systems and foundations, base their principles on,
yeah,
I think you're going to see some results.
Yeah, I mean, you just touched on it. I mean, you're touching on the highest frequencies in all places. And like, I think at the root of any religion or any belief system is really, these principles of goodness, or what we categorize as goodness, but really coming down to like love, for lack of a better word, taking care of each other.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the core of everything. And it's honestly what you and I are talking about. Our belief systems are not necessarily in alignment, but it doesn't matter, because if we go deeper than that, our heart space wants to serve people and take care of people and help people be happier and heal, basically.
No, and that's completely correct and on point. And thank you for saying that. I cherish the people I meet in life that regardless of what belief system we have, we can find a space to develop an understanding of how our path can benefit others.
Yeah.
Service. And I think it's very powerful to see even me and you, very different people, very different backgrounds, very different belief systems, and yet we have found our own ways to give back to humanity and help people heal. Tell us a little bit more about your project that you've been working on and what you've been doing the last, year, 2 years of trying to create the content for that CD that's coming out or that just came out. Tell us about that.
Okay, so thank you. I'd love to talk about the CD. So the CD is called Encounter, Medicine Songs from Ma. These are actually songs I received 6 years ago in a very intense relationship where, speaking of different beliefs, I put the face of God as Divine Mother, because the voice in my heart, truth, guru, my highest good, my deepest heart's desires, God, to me, that's all one thing, and it speaks through my heart. And I'm not talking about the thing that pumps your blood. I'm talking about your spiritual center in the center of your chest. And so this is where, for me, this is how Creator moves through my being, how Source moves through my being. So anyway, I received these songs. These really, they were healing lessons. One song's called like Cancel the Show, and it's about like letting go of pretending and, performing out there in the world, like, acting a certain way, the masks, for lack of a word. People are familiar with that word. And there was a couple songs of praise just for love. There's a song that was a praise to truth. One song was like giving it up for truth, and how truth can be really hard, but it's also.
Let me interject here, because I think a lot of people don't understand that, with where your belief system is, and with kirtan and a lot of, the what would be Hindi culture or foundational beliefs, they're not what people think. They're principles that, they don't tell you to do evil things, and there's not negativity in those aspects. The biggest differential, I guess disagreement you could say, would be the monotheistic ideology, whereas it's a one God approach, and your belief system has many positive spiritual influencers, so to speak.
Let me actually speak to that, because Hinduism is actually a monotheism. It's just greatly misunderstood. They actually believe there's only one source. Then they just like to describe every variation of divinity and then give it its own God and celebrate that. And then there's different parts of the culture that want to celebrate, the God that brings love. And then there's a different celebration for the God that maintains all of life. But really, when they boil all their deities down, they actually only have one source. This is a great misunderstanding of Hinduism. Hinduism is actually it's like an infinitely fractaled monotheism. They just like to name everything.
And I'm glad you said this because it clears something up. What you just said is that they're honoring each gift from the source individually.
Yeah.
And it's still rooted into the one.
Yep.
This has just happened to be the manifestation of love.
Yeah.
And I want to acknowledge that.
Yeah, so like the part of God that opens your heart, they call Ganesha. The part of your heart that is love or brings you peace in the form, in the stuff of world, that's Lakshmi. The one that the music, the source of creativity, the source of awakening, they call that Saraswati. And each one, you can kind of get a little closer to it. It's not some vague idea because it now has a face and a story. So one of the things that attracts me to this practice is it's so rich. And you can really wrap your arms around it. And it's really warm to like, at least from my experience, it's warm. And then when you chant to these different, let's be very clear, instead of saying, each God, let's call each God a frequency of source, one of the many flavors, but we're really chanting to frequencies. We're not really chanting to a deity, like a literal deity. And I would even go so far as to say that when we're chanting, we're chanting not to the outside of yourself. The belief is, or at least my belief, is all these frequencies exist in our soul already. So when we're chanting these frequencies, we're trying to wake up those positive frequencies in ourself. And this is maybe where then the practice of chanting is so healing for some, because it wakes up this place in you where you already know that you're whole, where you already know that you have strength to go through what you need to go through, or where you feel supported, or it lubricates that healing that doesn't want to come out because it's stuck down there, but then you vibrate something deeper than it and it pushes it up, I don't know. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but you know what I mean?
No, and just so you guys know who's watching right now, you can find all of this amazing stuff and this amazing lighthouse, Prem Vidu, which that's what you are. You're a lighthouse. You bring love and peace to this earth, and you are going to help people find what they need in the present moment. And you're doing that through your music. And I've experienced it, I've witnessed it, and I agree that you are a lighthouse and people deserve to find you. That's how I look at it. People deserve to find this.
I appreciate that. And if some of your watchers maybe are like chanting, it's really weird. Let me tell you, when I first heard it, it was weird, man. It was super weird.
Trust me, the first time I showed up, I didn't know what I was getting into. And he said when he first, you make it very approachable. You make it very comfortable. You acknowledge the uncomfortableness. Before you start each kirtan show, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure when I was there and in times that I've seen you address that awkwardness.
Yeah, that's actually part of the healing process is you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. I mean, if we were willing to be uncomfortable, healing would be so much easier. It's the whole point that we don't want to feel that discomfort, that we hold it down, we lock it in,
Right. So we got to wrap our time here with talking about kirtan and what you do with the band now. If I was able to throw you on the spot here, would you be open to playing a song for healing on this live stream for our viewers?
I still go grab my guitar.
Go grab your guitar. I'll talk to these guys while you get it. And while he's setting up, guys, I just want to remind you, we have an amazing platform, okay? It's helpmeptsd.com. You can find how to get involved in our community of support. You can join our community support. Accounts are always free. We don't charge for our support. We want to bridge the gap and remove the financial barrier to treatment for those who suffer from trauma, their family members, and anyone who's trying to support someone in their healing journey. So I invite you to go to helpmeptsd.com. I invite you to make your free account, and I invite you to get involved and find the path of healing that's going to work for you. So let's bring Prem up and let's listen to this song of healing.
Thanks so much, Christopher. So I'm going to sing a song called the Ho'oponopono Prayer. This is a Hawaiian culture song. Many of you have heard it. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. I thank you. Probably some of the most powerful words you can utter as a human. And the Sanskrit part is called Aham Prema, which means I am divine light and I am divine love. So with that, I'll just let you feel it. And I always encourage you, if you want to sing along, sing this to yourself and sing this to your greatest enemies. There's healing in both sides of all of it. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. I thank you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. I thank you. Aham Prema. Aham Prema. Aham Prema. Aham Prema. I love you. I thank you. I love you. I thank you. And this is where I encourage people to sing to themselves, because when the last time you said I love you and I thank you to yourself? You deserve it. I love you. I thank you. I love you. And I thank you. Aham Prema. Aham Prema. Aham Prema. Aham Prema. Remembering that we are divine light makes the whole healing process a lot better.
Oh man, that was just phenomenal, man. And again, I'm a worship leader at a church down in Mesa, and I sing Messianic, Jewish, folk, Christian, all the stuff that you see on K-Love and all this stuff. We have the copyright to be able to play the music, and so I feel led in my heart at some point in time. And I don't know when that is, but when you have time, or maybe we can just do a street pop-up on Mill Ave or something, or somewhere, and just go and bless people, with music. And whether it's a song that I know or a song that, you're a musician and I'm a musician, man. I know we can watch each other's hands and figure out how to come in and add some good stuff too. So again, hey, before we have to let you go, where can people find you? And let me pull up this. I want to pull this picture up real quick. There's the album cover of Encounter, Medicine Songs from Man,
Ma.
Ma,
From
Ma.
love. For
From
me,
Ma.
Divine Mother is love, basically. Love itself.
Awesome. Well, again, Prem, we thank you so much. You guys can find his information over at premvidu.com is where I'm sure they can get your CD. Is there anywhere else that they can find you and follow you?
Yeah, you can go on Facebook. I'm at Prem Vidu and the Band of Now. YouTube is also Prem Vidu and the Band of Now. And the CD's out in all the places that music lives, Spotify, Bandcamp, iTunes. But you can listen to it for free on my website, and you can buy the download there for $10 if you're moved by it. You know, these songs really help me mature in love, so hopefully they'll help you.
No, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris, and I love your work you're doing with Just Me Just Say It. I totally love and respect all the work you do out there with Help Me PSD. It's amazing.
Hey, thank you so much. It's been a blessing to be able to do some of the stuff we're doing, and we're just getting started, man. My goal, Prem, is I believe the right thing to do is make sure that there's no cost for healing.
That's a beautiful vision, my man. I'll hold that with you.
Yeah. And if I can accomplish it or at least start the process in my life, I feel accomplished. And I think we're starting that process now by doing sustainable healing centers and all sorts of fun stuff. So if we get the right people involved and together, I know that by ourselves, we're not able to accomplish much. But with the efforts of many wise people and community leaders like you, providing what you do to help heal, we can provide these resources that don't cost money, that just simply ask to donate and support in what you can and where you can. Yeah. And I think that's the idea and concepts that our society needs, more importantly now than ever with everything we see going on.
That's true words and wise words, friend.
So
let's just keep making that vision happen.
Right? Hey, if we believe in it and we start speaking it, maybe we have a chance of it coming to fruition. So again, Prem, thank you so much for being here today. You're welcome to come on our show anytime you want, especially to do live music like that. I've got the music goosebumps that I'm an easy trigger for that. So I guess I'm not a good scale, but I'm telling you, if you guys go to this curtain that Prem does, you will have an experience. Whatever that experience is, it will be an experience. So again, Prem, thank you so much for joining our show today.
My pleasure. Have a great day.
Well, guys, that's another episode of Help Me PTSD, bringing free support videos, education, and resources near you or digital, because that's what we are. We are a digital resource, a client provider platform for counselors, psychologists, nutrition specialists, music therapists, whatever it is that's going to provide healing to trauma survivors and their family. We want to be the platform that helps you meet that person where you're at and that you find the right path for healing. Don't let another entity tell you how to heal. I believe in your innate intelligence to decide what you need, when you need it, and how you're going to overcome your trauma. I've been able to do that for myself. And I hope that by sharing these videos and bringing people on like Prem Vidu and other community leaders that are helping people transform their lives through the work that they're providing, that together we can rise up and we can create a system, a society that is based on the principles of love and peace and kindness and all the things that we know we truly want. But it starts with each of us. It starts with you. Will you decide to act? Will you decide to show up and be present for whatever the healing process is for you in that moment? Again, I thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for joining us from wherever you're watching. Shout out to all of our friends and family that support Help Me PTSD. And again, tune in next time with another guest, just sharing their resources and their support for you. My name is Christopher Langell, and again, head to helpmeptsd.com and see how we can be a part of your healing path.